Welcome to Ringside Report MMA. Tonight on the show, we preview UFC 253. Israel Adesanya battles Paulo Costa for the UFC Middleweight Championship. Jan Blachowicz and Dominic Reyes for the UFC vacant now Light Heavyweight Championship. Did Colby Covington go too far in his post-fight comments? We break down what happened at UFC Vegas last weekend and some big fights coming up in the UFC over the next couple of months. Ringside Report MMA starts right now. Yo, that was fast. That was a lot faster than I thought it would be. Let's see that again. There we go. That was a little longer, right, guys? That was a little longer. What happened there?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't the same thing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I pressed the same button, but two different things happened there. So I was like, huh? What's going on there? ¿Qué pasa? Hey, that worked out. What's up, dudes?
Team there, man.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
up, homies, man?
we're working on things. We've been off for a couple of weeks. We had a little vacation, and now we are back. UFC 253 coming up on Saturday night. We're going to do a watch-along for that. Everything will be up to code by then. I think the dust will be out of the studio. We'll be good to go. Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa. What?
I said the COVID will still be there. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
I was going to be in studio for this one, but it's not happening, dude. It's not happening.
It doesn't look like it. We could talk about that a little bit later on, but I want to get right into it, guys. I don't want to mess around here. I want to get to the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for hitting us up on Super Chat. If you're watching live on YouTube, on Facebook Live as well, you can support the Ringside Report Network by supporting our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20 for 20% off plus free shipping on all your Manscaped orders. IP Vanish. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net for all your VPN needs. IP Vanish. And also Stitcher Premium. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside for a free month when you sign up to Stitcher Premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside. And we'd also like to welcome not only our Facebook Live viewers, our YouTube viewers, but tonight, for the first time ever, on Twitch.
What?
Welcome to our Twitch viewers. We're on Twitch, AJ.
Did you get it? What? Is it an itch? I thought you said you had an itch.
No, Twitch.
You have an itch?
You know Twitch, right?
No, AJ doesn't know Twitch.
Wasn't that a character on Degrassi or something? What is... Are you joking?
What are you talking about?
Hey?
You don't know what Twitch is?
Character?
I'm surprised, AJ. You're always so up and in on all the latest technology. You know, you're really cool and down with everything.
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say twerking. Do I know to twerk?
Do you?
I do.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
I'll do it another day. What if
Anyways,
I just do it?
Do it on Saturday during the watch along. Okay. AJ, happy birthday, by the way. AJ, happy birthday, brother.
Thanks,
you celebrated another birthday this week. Another birthday. You've had so many. And there's another one. So happy birthday, my friend.
Listen, that's what I was trying to say, Freddie. Remember, last year at this time, we were all laughing and having a good time. We're at Delalo's eating burgers outside. The whole crew was there. And this year, we can't even get together. It's so sad. I had a birthday cake, as you saw.
What a cake.
And I wanted to, that was a hell of a cake, man. That was, I got to say thank you to Lucy there for that cake. That's for sure. And, of course, the fine establishment of...
you don't have to give a...
Sandra Confections. Why not, man? Let me give a shout-out to them.
Was it a free cake?
Octagon. No, it wasn't free.
So why you...
But it was it was really good, man. Do you have a picture of it, Dave?
I think we can get a picture of it.
That's one hell... Listen, man, they did their first UFC cake, so we should be, all over their sites.
You sent that picture to me. I want to know who you're picking.
Where is it?
I'll get it for you. I don't know, man.
It's on our Instagram page, man.
Is it? On the Ringside
Promote
Report?
our Instagram. Of course, man.
All right.
Next is Freddie's.
It's in our conversation on Facebook, and I don't think we could put that into public.
No, let's definitely not do that.
You don't want to do that, man.
There's some danger.
Our political views might get us in trouble.
Our political views or your political
No, maybe
views?
Maybe mine and Fred's.
Don't throw me into your boat, man. Don't throw me into your boat.
Yeah. Here's the cake, by the way. Here's the cake. Very cool cake. Amazing. Look at that. That is legitimately AJ's birthday cake. That's for real the cake that AJ had on his birthday. I don't think we can hear AJ now. I think I've lost AJ. Hold on.
What?
It was a pretty cool cake.
Did
AJ.
you hear me?
No, I didn't hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But did you see what it said there? It said, "Happy birthday, Hollywood AJ." On top
I know.
of it all, man.
I know. And it said, like, not only that, but here, we're going to lose AJ again and Fred, but it's just me here. Look at this. Like, IP Vanish is on the cake. Our sponsors are on the cake. Manscaped, a Ruddy Lad who's not a sponsor, but they're a friend of the show. Stitcher also on the cake. Of course, the Ringside Report logo is on the cake. A UFC octagon-shaped cake. I mean, this is really quite a job by
Marketing AJ.
Your fantastic girlfriend, Lucy. I mean, she really knows you. She knows that you are fully dedicated to the Ringside Report universe, and I love it. I love how dedicated you are that your birthday cake is, like, decorated with our sponsors. My birthday cake, I don't think will be decorated with any kind of sponsors, but it is pretty cool. It's a very cool cake.
Listen, I promise you this, guys. Once we get, like, big money, like Joe Rogan kind of bucks, even Brendan kind of bucks I could live with, I'm taking you guys to Vegas with no girlfriends. I'm going to thank them for all we did, or all they did for us, but we're going Vegas style, and I'm planning it.
Thank them for all they did, leave them alone with our young children, and we go to Las Vegas for...
Well, that's the way you're supposed to do it, man. I'm Italian. That's the way you do it, old school, man.
Okay.
Hello?
I think you're alone on that island also, AJ.
Yeah, you're alone on a lot of islands, AJ, and you're going to find yourself alone on your own island if you don't behave yourself. So, thanks. Awesome cake. Beautiful stuff. I want to get to the fights, though, guys. I've been trying to do this for the whole show, but we have so many distractions, and AJ, it happens, you know.
Wait a sec.
What? Can we get to Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa, or are you just going to keep...
No. Wait a sec. I'm still confused here. What the hell is Twitch? You didn't answer me. What the hell's Twitch?
Twitch? I mean, Twitch should be obvious to you. I mean, Facebook Live, YouTube. What are those things? What are they?
Platforms for social media, but
for streaming, right? Twitch is a streaming platform. And I'm not surprised that you're unaware of Twitch, but it's very big, and I'm happy that we are now simulcasting, streaming on Twitch, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Not surprised AJ doesn't know what Twitch is, though, but it is very funny, right, Fred? Lucky, you gotta love AJ. Of course, Fred knows what it is.
It's funny that he doesn't know what Twitch is, but if anything, I'll say, like, I'm surprised because I thought Twitch was mostly for video games, so I'm happy. I'm down with Twitch. No problem.
Yeah.
Go Twitch.
Yeah, we're on Twitch, man. A lot of people watch things on Twitch, not just for video games, Fred. It's for everything. So we're on Twitch now, all right? Look, I'm telling you,
porn-related?
It's not porn related.
That's only fans.
I'm telling you, if you're a person under the age of, say, 25, I think you're watching a lot of Twitch.
I knew it.
I think you're watching a lot of Twitch.
My kid is always on Twitch.
Right.
My oldest, like the kids, they rather watch other kids play video games than play themselves often, and they'll just watch other kids and they'll be like, "Oh wow, this guy's incredible." Yeah, well, why don't you play as much as he does, and you'll be incredible.
Yeah,
That might not be a good.
I don't really understand that. That's not for me. I'm not really into watching other people play video games. Like, I like to get tips on YouTube and stuff for certain games that I'm playing, but I like to play the games. I don't really ever feel the need to watch other people play games, but, you know, I get it. I don't want to do MMA. I don't want to fight pro MMA, but I like to watch other people do it.
I'll do that.
You'll fight professionally
Listen, man,
MMA?
I can play video games. I played video games way back, man. I'm good in video games.
We should get AJ a Twitch stream.
Pong I played for sure, man. Come on.
Can we do that? Playing video games with AJ? Like, that would be funny, because I'm sure
I'll
you're
beat
terrible.
You guys. No. I'm a pro at that.
Are you, though? At what games?
I was like a Pac-Man champion.
No, yeah, Pac-Man. But, like, let's play some more recent games and see what happens.
Play FIFA.
You know? Yeah, let's play FIFA, AJ, and see what happens.
Listen, I spent my early part of my young days, which is no joke. There used to be an Italian cafe, no joke, an Italian cafe back in the days where they used to have, like, you know, their espresso bar and all that kind of stuff. And then there was a secret room in the back, And they used to be like, they never allowed me in. So they used to keep me in the front playing video games, and they used to supply me quarters, all these old Italian guys. And I used to play video games like crazy, crazy, man. You name it, over and over. And they used to tell me this: anytime you see a police officer, come and knock on the door. So one time I saw a police officer, and I went. I
What is
went
this,
and knocked on the
Goodfellas?
door.
What are you? What
I
is
swear-
this?
This
Are
is
you in
MTG, man.
a Bronx Tale? What are you talking about?
So what happens is I go knock on the door because I always wanted to see what was going on in there. And dude, that was the first time I actually saw like heavy duty like poker playing. And but just all to say is that I was playing video games every day, and they were supplying me all kinds of money. And then I got in trouble by my parents, but that's a different story. And that was the end
This
of
is
my
a Bronx
video
Tale.
game
I think
days.
the story you're telling is a Bronx Tale. I think you're confusing the movie
No,
A
no,
Bronx
this
Tale
is-
with
this
your
is
own
called,
life.
This is called living below the tracks in NDG with certain cafes down here. But yeah, so yeah, I'll play you guys in video games, man. I'm gonna smash you. Which one you want to
Okay.
play? Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat? I'm down for that.
Mortal Kombat 3, like the Super NES version, I'll smash you with that, AJ. I can't imagine you're good at that.
I'm talking about the arcade player, man. The
I think I'd
arcade.
still beat you at that. Like, I can't imagine you're good at video games. I don't know. We'll do that. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Challenge
We'll put
on,
it on
man.
Twitch. We'll put it on YouTube. Okay, all that stuff. And you can
Okay,
find
fair
us
enough,
on
man.
Twitch, by the way, at twitch.tv/Ringside Report. Twitch.tv/Ringside Report. And Johnny North, speaking of
Sounds very
video
twitchy.
games, Johnny North is on the
Johnny.
chat. Shout out to Johnny North. Shout out to Woods MMA
Johnny.
UK. Shout out to D Skeet. Shout out to Lauren Cronish. Shout out to everybody watching on the YouTube chat that I'm seeing right now. Johnny North hooking me up with an excellent early birthday present. Got me the WWE Battlegrounds game for the Nintendo Switch, which has been a lot of fun.
Johnny's
so
got bucks.
thank you.
Johnny's
Thank
got
you
the
to Johnny
dough, man.
North hooking me up. All right, guys. Just, he's trying to win the Best Co-Host Award 2020, and so far he's killing it. All right? just off I'm easily bribed. All you got to do is just get me stuff, and I give you the award. It's an award I just made up, but, he's winning. All right,
Well, that's
Johnny?
awesome, man.
Watch Wrestling
Does he
Uncensored
get
with
like a free
myself
bag
and
of
Johnny.
Cheetos?
Huh?
Like, does he get a free bag of Cheetos and a raise?
He gets more than that. He gets way more than that, believe me. Johnny North will be with me this weekend. We got a big weekend coming up here, guys. We got Ringside Report here tonight. We will preview UFC 253 momentarily. I promise it's actually going to happen if AJ lets me. We're going to preview UFC 253 tonight. Saturday morning, we'll preview WWE Clash of Champions on Wrestling Uncensored. Saturday night, we will all be back here, the three of us, to do the UFC 253 watch-along when the pay-per-view starts at 10 p.m. And then Sunday night, I'll be back here with my brother and Johnny North for the Wrestling Uncensored WWE Clash of Champions watch-along. So, very busy weekend. 2 watch-alongs this weekend, back-to-back Saturday and Sunday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for the main event on Saturday night here, guys. Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa. We've been waiting for this one for a long time. They were scheduled to fight a while back. Costa had, was it an injury or a suspension? What took him out of the fight that made Yoel fight? I think it was an injury, right? He was suspended at some other point.
Yeah, it was something
I don't
like that. I
remember.
couldn't remember.
You're catching us off guard here, Dave, and then just throwing this to us. But yeah, I think it was an injury.
I thought
If
one of you would
anything,
remember. I don't know. We all watch MMA. I was kind of foggy on the details. I figured you or AJ might remember what took Paulo Costa out of the fight. I throw to you guys. You're like, yeah. I love it. I love it. We are very, very well prepared and knowledgeable about the sport. I'm happy.
No. But that was so. I remember it was a while back ago, but I think it was an injury. But there was like people saying, "Oh, it's because it was like some drug test that he was worried and whatever, so he pulled out." So yeah, we never really found out what happened when you think about it.
I think it was.
Was
an
it a knee injury, a shoulder injury?
Wasn't it a shoulder injury because he did like the thing?
Or was it? It wasn't.
Didn't he do
COVID,
like
I
a flip?
guess.
And he was hurt for a while.
No, that's Johnny Walker doing the super worm.
Was that
But,
Johnny Walker?
Johnny Walker. That's what. After that super worm, man, it's a different story now.
Yeah, I think it was an injury because it was supposed to be Costa and Adesanya, but then Romero slipped in there because I think Costa just wasn't ready. He was hurt or something. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying.
This fight is actually happening on Saturday night, all right? It's actually happening. And the odds
Can't
makers
wait,
have
man.
it as Adesanya minus 170, Costa plus 150. Now, Costa's been your guy, AJ. You've been on the Paulo Costa train for a while. Do you think he does it? Both of these guys undefeated. Both of these guys very dangerous strikers. Paulo Costa more of a one-punch knockout guy. Israel Adesanya, he throws that volume on you.
Yeah,
Little bit more technical. He's got knockout power, but not like Paulo Costa, right? Paulo Costa is 13-0 as a pro, and Israel Adesanya, how many fights has he won now? 19. By God.
19.
That's pretty impressive. 19-0, man. You don't go 19-0 very often in MMA. That is, especially in the middleweight division, facing the guys that he's faced. Derek Brunson,
Yeah,
Anderson Silva, Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whittaker, Yoel Romero. Like, god damn. It's quite a run.
Several nice names. Nice names. I'll tell you what, when I look at this fight, it's the athleticism of both guys. And it's different kind of athleticisms, I feel. Like Israel Adesanya, he's the guy that could do all these flips and super athletic, whereas Costa, he's just like this beast. He's huge, he's massive, he's strong. So to me, that's the most interesting part of this matchup is both of these guys are extreme, like super athletes, and I'll be interested to see who gets the edge there, like in the clinch and things like that. Like who's the bigger dog? Because both of these guys are skilled and they're strong. So to me, this is one of the best matchups of the year, and I'm still struggling to pick a guy. Like I'm leaning with Costa because I'm just extremely impressed with his physique, and I think like this guy is just massive for a middleweight. Like he's so much bigger than everybody, it feels. At the same time, like I say, Adesanya might be the best athlete I've seen, as far as champions in that division, he's amongst the best athlete the division has seen.
AJ,
Look,
what do you think?
I was gonna say like this fight, it's almost like looking at like a cross of Israel being like Anderson Silva and John Jones versus like Vito Belfort. I mean, these guys look like the young version of those past fighters, and really their styles are so similar. When you're gonna look at a guy like Adesanya, who's 6'4", he has an 80-inch reach, where Costa has like a 72-inch reach. We're talking 8-inch difference. And Fred is right, man. You're looking two guys that are super athletic, super skilled. And you know what? I was watching the press conference, earlier, and they were on the beach and they were yapping, and there were certain things going back and forth. What was being said, and I had my lead up to this fight, and I was gonna go one way, and after the whole talk, I'm pretty like confident that I'm gonna stick with my pick, and Israel Adesanya is a beast. There's no doubt about it. He's a great champion and whatnot. But man, he's been like talking trash against Paulo, saying he's all juiced up, and this is what happens with like beef heads, and the mainstream like UFC fans are gonna go for Costa because he's so built and everything. But let's not forget, man. It's a training camp, and I've been following these two guys in their training camp. And one thing for sure is that Paulo Costa, his training camp looked solid, and he started making fun of like Paulo Costa in the conference, saying, you know what, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu and I can tap out black belts, and Costa looked over and basically said, you know what, he goes, you're crazy, like, obviously, like he's mocking Adesanya, and I was going like this, and I think everybody's gonna say one thing is that this is gonna be like a fight where it's gonna be stand up and it's gonna be like just a brawl where we're gonna see Costa knock out Israel. On the other hand, I looked at Costa and he was really calm. He was pretty cool and collective, and I thought that fight is going to go that way. My prediction is this, and I know it sounds crazy because everybody's going to disagree, because in 5 fights, Costa's never done a submission attempt. This fight is going to go this way, and mark my word, if it happens, copy this part.
You're going to say, you're going to remind us.
Yeah, he's going, big
time.
Oh,
yeah. What are we? What time is it? What time frame here?
Okay. Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're picking
No,
Paulo
So
Costa
by submission.
No. Hear me
Get
out.
to it.
Listen, Paulo Costa is going to take this guy and take him into the octagon, take top mount. He could beat him by TKO, but I'm telling you, Costa's going to make a statement. He doesn't want to knock this guy out. He's a BJJ black belt, and I'm telling you, if he has the opportunity, he's going to choke out Israel. And I'm telling you, if that happens, man, which is a strong possibility, Costa doesn't just want to win by knockout to be perceived as like just a knockout artist. This guy is high-level jiu-jitsu, and you know what? He got insulted today, actually, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a submission win. And if they pull it off, man, you're going to make good money.
Okay. I don't see it that way, guys. I see it the other way. I see it Israel Adesanya's way. I think that he's going to be able to avoid Paulo Costa. He's got that longer reach like you talked about. He's a rangier fighter. I see this a lot like Anderson Silva against Vitor Belfort. I think, AJ, you had it right, when you compared those guys. But I don't know if you remember how that fight went, but Vitor went to sleep. Vitor's that charging bull, just like Paulo Costa is. Paulo Costa's that guy. He's very strong. He's got a lot of power, but as long as Israel Adesanya can dance around that power and land his shots, he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to win this fight either by putting Costa to sleep in the later rounds because Costa's just tired out and can't take anymore, or he's going to win on points. I think most likely Israel Adesanya wins by decision. I don't think Paulo Costa is going to get stopped by Adesanya. I think he's too tough for that. I think it's going to be very tough to put Paulo Costa to sleep with any one shot. He's got a good chin. He hasn't really taken a lot of shots. He doesn't have that chin where, he's been knocked out before, so he can get knocked out again. He's fresh as a fighter, but I don't think that he's going to be able to put it on Israel as much as he needs to get that W. I think he might hit Israel. I think he might hurt Israel, but I don't think he's going to finish him. I don't think he's going to put him away. And if he doesn't put him away, he's going to lose on points. So I've got Israel Adesanya by decision, and I'm on my own fight island here. You guys both taking the underdog, Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, like I said, plus 150, a slight underdog. Israel Adesanya minus 170, the favorite. I'm going with the favorite. I'm going with Adesanya, and I think it goes all 5 rounds. Adesanya by decision, 49-46. Maybe 48-47 if Costa has a good fight, but I think 49-46 will be your final score on the night. 4-1 Israel Adesanya. And you guys wait till Saturday night. You guys wait till Saturday night when it's 4-1 and the judges are reading out the scorecards. 49-46, 49-46, 48-47 for your winner. And still UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya. What's up?
Costa,
you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Look, we saw what happened to Anderson Silva with Chris Weidman. They between Adesanya and Anderson Silva, their styles of fighting are so similar. It's ridiculous. I mean, and if you take a good example, if you look at Israel when he fights, he always has his hands hanging, like he's got this no guard. He has his hands down, and he's always trying to trick people to come for the takedown so he could give him like knees or kicks or whatnot. Anderson Silva did the same thing, and you know what? It cost him. It cost him his career pretty much. And you know what? Paulo Costa knows exactly that he's going to be baited. That's why I keep saying Costa, his jiu-jitsu game is so like unseen, and he's done absolutely nothing. But if he takes top mount, he takes control, and he doesn't get caught by like the tricks by Israel, I'm telling you, I'm still going with a submission win.
Where's the takedown coming from? Is it a takedown? How does he get Israel down to the mat in your fight here? In your mind, how is he getting Israel down? You're talking about top mount, right? So he's got to get what? A takedown on Israel Adesanya? Is he a great wrestler, Paulo Costa? I don't know, man. Maybe a knockdown? Maybe a knockdown?
Yes, he's
in the clinch, but is he going to shoot? In the clinch, is he going to shoot or is he going to throw hands? I don't think he shoots. I don't think he attempts a takedown. I'd be surprised if Paulo Costa attempts more than 1 or 2 takedowns this entire fight. This is going to be a guy. He's a guy who stands and charges. He's won most of his fights by knockout. Exactly. He won one fight in his whole career by submission, and it was a long time ago, not in the UFC. His last fight that was tough was against Yoel Romero, and he went 3 rounds with Yoel, and he escaped with a victory. It was close.
Look, and that's exactly why I'm
Shout out to Jason Morneau Pete hitting us up on the Super Chat. out in Mexico. What's up, Jason? And also Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat as well. We appreciate you guys supporting the Ringside Report Network. Go ahead, AJ. Tell me why I'm wrong. Oh, no, Fred, you tell me why I'm wrong. I love it.
No, I was going to say I agree with you that I don't see this being a grappling match that much, because if Costa is not successful, he'll burn a lot of energy, and then Adesanya is going to have the edge in the stand-up. So I don't think like Costa will be shooting or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I could see this fight going next to the cage where Costa is more massive in my mind, and maybe like with a hit or whatever, it goes to the ground. But I still, like I said earlier, I got Costa by TKO. I feel like his massiveness is going to be an issue. And Adesanya, he better not keep his hands down against Costa. Like you mentioned that about Anderson Silva. That ended up costing Silva a lot, like you say. And I'm sorry, that's just not a smart way to fight, especially not a guy like Costa. You better not be too cocky. Because if Adesanya loses because of cockiness, well, I'm just going to say that's too bad for you. Like,
Adesanya is very defensive. Like, you saw his last fight against Yoel. He was very defensive. It was almost like it was too much. Like, it was not a good fight. It was very defensive.
It was like
not
a
great.
Statue, man.
Yeah.
I blame Romero on that one.
Sure,
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there's only so much you could do. It's like, a punching bag has more life than Romero did in that fight. But the difference is that I'm just looking at the training camp. And Paulo Costa's training camp has been with Borrachina from Brazil, the jiu-jitsu team. And I'm telling you, all it's been is grappling. He's been training with some Olympian wrestler. Why is he going to that extent? You know what I mean? I saw his kickboxing coach and whatnot, like a guy that's very similar to Israel and what. Fine. But he's really focusing on the grappling side in this camp. And I'm telling you, you were saying, how is he going to do it? He's going to throw those big bombs. There's no doubt about it. If he connects with that big bomb, Israel's going to sleep. But I think it might be a setup to a takedown, and that's where the game is going to change. I think he's really going to go for that submission. He wants to make a statement.
If he goes for that, if he gets a takedown, I will give you all the credit, okay? If that actually does wind up taking place, which it won't, it's not going to happen, because Israel Adesanya is going to win by decision, okay? That's how that fight is going down. And unfortunately, guys, I think we're going to have a long night ahead of us on Saturday. I think we're going to see two title fights both go 25 minutes. I think Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz might go 25 minutes. I could see Reyes putting Blachowicz away. Either way, I got Reyes winning, either by TKO or by decision. Dominic Reyes is a heavy favorite going into this one. Minus 270, Jan Blachowicz plus 230. That seems about right. Dominic Reyes took John Jones to the limit. He looked good in that fight. I think he lost that fight, but he looked good against the greatest light heavyweight in the world and the real light heavyweight champion.
He didn't just look great, man.
Yeah. He looked good. He looked very good against John Jones. AJ settled down. He didn't win. That's fine, though. And he's 30 years old. Jan Blachowicz is 37 years old. And, he's had some setbacks in his career. He's looked good as of late, but let's see him against some world-class competition. I think that he's stumbled before. I mean, this is a guy who lost to Patrick Cummins. He also lost to Gustafsson. He's a better fitter now. I mean, look at Blachowicz now. He's won, 7 of his last 8? Very impressive, but I don't know.
Listen, man, let's not forget, there's a lot of people on the fence on who won that fight with John Jones. And there's a split pretty much that people think.
We're not talking about that fight, AJ. We're talking about Jan and Reyes. I don't care about what.
I know, but the truth of the matter is that this guy's going to reclaim the throne that he deserved in that last fight. And you know what? It's unfair. But look.
Okay. Well, yeah.
If
vacant
you look
throne.
At Reyes, it's a vacant throne that Reyes, in my opinion, deserved.
John Jones decided not to sit in anymore.
John Jones.
He kind of was like, whatever. I'm going to heavyweight. See ya.
He'll be back, man. Do you really think he's not going to come back to light? He'll be back at some point.
So many people wanted to see Dominic Reyes. So many people thought Dominic Reyes beat John Jones that the whole world is just clamoring for the Reyes-Jones rematch. That's why John Jones felt that it wasn't lucrative enough to stay at light heavyweight and move to heavyweight because there's no point in fighting any of these guys anymore. Right, AJ? Come on, man. Stick to
man,
reality.
you know what? Look, listen, man, you're right. You know what? I think it's going to be great for the heavyweight division to see a guy like John Jones go up. But I'm telling you, at some point, Jones is coming back down, and you know what? Whoever's the champ at that point, who is that? Does it come with a little side bag of Coke?
John Jones, baby. That's your champion
With
right
a-
there.
with a-
Look, he's
with-
got the belt. They don't make Dominic Reyes action figures with any kind of belt.
All right, dude. Okay.
They don't even
Does it
make
come
Dominic
with,
Reyes
like,
action
a
figures.
damaged car?
They didn't even make
Man, you know
a Dominic Reyes toy because no one would buy a Dominic Reyes toy because Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz are the co-main event of a pay-per-view where they're heavier than the main event and they're fighting for a world championship. That's how little people care about Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz. People barely know that this fight's even taken place. They know Israel's fighting Paulo
It's a
Costa.
possibility.
They know Israel's fighting, all right? Let's be real here. They know Israel Adesanya, and people are kind of aware that he's fighting. They think he might be fighting some big Brazilian dude, Paul something. I don't know. They don't really know his name. Nobody knows that the light heavyweight title's on the line. Nobody knows, right? Like, mainstream MMA
They'll go
fan,
on
casual
Saturday,
MMA fan, they're like, oh, Israel's fighting this weekend. Cool, let's watch that. What's the rest of the card, you know?
Listen, man, you're right. But you know what? On Saturday, everybody will know who's the champ in that division. And you know what? The name calling will start. You know, whoever wins, especially if it's Reyes, there's going to be a lot of name calling on Jones to say, you know what? I really own that belt. And you know what? You want it? Come back because I'm going to beat you. I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole storyline. If Jan wins it, Jan's not like the most, how can I say it, charismatic guy. But you know what? When it comes to like showcasing like the Polish MMA scene, man, you can't get any better. I mean, I'm so happy for him. The Polish power is awesome.
Got to give it to him.
You know, Reyes,
Gotta give it
gotta
to
give
him.
it to him. You gotta give it to him. But unfortunately,
I
I think
saw-
Reyes is gonna take this one.
I
man.
saw Jan Blachowicz talking about this fight, and he was like, everybody back in Poland saying that this is the biggest fight in Polish MMA history. And I'm like, Joanna Jędrzejczyk was a world champion for several years. What are you talking about? Like, what?
But he gives her credit. He gives her credit. He says that she's the queen of MMA. There's no doubt about it. But
Yeah, she better be. I don't
was
think
more like,
this is
I
the
was-
biggest fight in Polish MMA. And if it is, uh-oh. Because
Well,
Dominic
he
Reyes
becomes
is coming
champion
away
as a
with that
light-
W. He's not going to, though. You think he's going to win?
I don't think he's gonna win.
No.
I don't think he's gonna be able to like look at Reyes, man. He like you know there's people like myself, and I'm sure there's people on our chat that are saying the same thing that Reyes won that fight.
Yeah,
So
Acme
you know you
Tunes.
can look at it that
Are
way.
you looking at the chat right now because you saw that, AJ? You fucking guy. Acme Toon says Reyes won that fight against
Acme.
Jones. He also wants to know where I got the John Jones action figure. I got it on Amazon.
Yeah, where did you get it?
Amazon.
How much you pay for that?
What? I'm not telling you. All right, go look it up on
Come on.
Amazon. Fuck. This
You
is
should
shopping
I was
with
gonna
Dave.
say, like, you guys are selling short Blachowicz, I feel like. I got Reyes, but if this fight becomes like some dirty boxing, some a grinding fight of two guys that are like close in the pocket and exchange a lot of shots, Blachowicz might be the tougher of the two. Like, what I remember from Reyes against Jones is that Reyes was a lot on the back pedal, and Jones was the guy moving forward a lot. And
Oh,
I wonder if you'll have the same strategy with Blachowicz, because if this becomes like two guys that exchange punches, I kind of like Blachowicz's chances, but Reyes is the more skilled fighter.
Blachowicz got knocked out
Well,
in
he's
the
7
third
years
round
younger.
by Thiago Santos in February 2019. I think that's where the fight ends here with Dominic Reyes. I think TKO, third round, Dominic Reyes gets the win. After that, you know, Blachowicz has won 3 in a row, but he knocked out Luke Rockhold, who's barely a fighter anymore. He got a split decision win over Jacare, who's a middleweight. And he knocked out Corey Anderson, who's, you know, a legit fighter, but that's really his only legit win in the past
you
couple
know
of
who
years.
he's got to thank? You know who he's got to thank? And this is not a joke. I actually read this, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. He's actually giving a lot of his credit to his magic rope. You heard about that whole thing with the magic rope?
No?
You know,
What?
Freddie. So listen to this. This is no joke. Apparently, okay, he was walking in the woods of Poland with his dog, and he came across a guy. I'm telling you, this is factual.
Get the fuck out of here.
He came across a guy who committed suicide, right? So the police say, you know what? There's this like old like wives' tale that if someone like commits suicide, you got to keep the rope. So the cops like told him to keep the rope. So he didn't want to keep the rope. He's kept the rope in the same tree out in those woods. So before every fight, he goes and touch that rope. And ever since he's been doing that, he's been on a win streak. So if he has that rope with him in this ring on Saturday, he might actually win. But this is not a joke. It's actually some crazy story, but it has to do with this magical rope. Check it up on Google.
Rope. No, I believe you.
Magic rope.
I'm seeing Jason Morneau. He's confirming the story on the chat, so I believe you.
I believe the story, but I don't believe the rope is magic.
No, the rope is not magic. It's not a magic rope.
Well, according to
Daniel,
the wives' tales, they say what?
I want to give a shout out to Daniel Winston hitting us up on the super chat. He wants to know who do we think is going to win, Israel or Costa. I guess he missed it. Just tuning in now, Daniel. Thank you for supporting the show. We have I have Israel
Costa,
and AJ and Fred both taking Paulo Costa.
Yep, but the manner of win. Don't think about the manner of win.
Costa TKO.
Costa by submission.
Okay, AJ's got Costa by submission, Fred's got Costa by TKO, and I've got Israel by decision. And in this next one, I'm going to go against the magic rope, AJ. I'm going to go with Dominic Reyes to finish Jan Blachowicz in the third round. We will have a new UFC light heavyweight champion, and it will be Dominic Reyes, who's got like 3 brothers, and they're going to be in his corner. I had no idea there were so many Reyes brothers, but his corner will be full of his brothers. Coach. Yeah, I guess so. But
one of them is his boxing and MMA coach.
They're all there on Fight Island with him.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
He's been training like a beast. But first of all, I want to say thank you to Jason for backing up my story because I know, Dave, you were waiting to say, AJ, you're nuts, man.
Yeah.
But it was confirmed, man. Freddie, you see, I'm telling you, read it. But anyways, all to do with the rope or not, I'm going with Reyes for the win here because I still think he beat John Jones.
Yeah, he didn't beat John Jones, but I think he wins. How do you see Reyes winning? Method of victory here, guys.
I'm going to say TKO, third round.
Decision.
Oh, it's going to be a long night, Fred. It's going to go till 2 in the morning.
I don't think so.
Get your coffee.
You're going to have to buy some jelly beans.
Yeah, that's
Dollar store jelly beans.
I think I'm going to defrost a banana bread. That's what I'm going to do for Saturday night, buddy. Okay. Dave's special banana bread, as we know. And what do you think of my new nickname, guys? You were calling me Super Dave for a while, but you like the new one that I got?
Well, it should be Super Dave.
Did you see the new nickname I have in the chat? Fred, you didn't like it?
I'll never call you that.
Oh, come on.
What was it?
Because you're not a Dudley boy. That nickname is for big.
No, it's for the Dudley
boys. Dudley.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it?
You can say it. You can say it.
ECW
no. You're serious, Dave? You changed it to that?
Big Dick Dudley.
Yeah, you love it. You love it.
Big Dick Dave? What are you, John Holmes, man?
I just
Nobody
said
will
it.
get that. If you're not from the 80s, you won't get John Holmes.
I don't get it, but I just put it there to mess with you guys.
Yeah,
we have a group chat, and we have
man.
nicknames in the group chat, and I changed mine.
Who's that porn guy, that little
Dave.
hairy guy? That little...
Max Horny? I don't know.
No. He's
K. Cara
a
France.
small guy.
K. Cara France taking on Brandon Royval. This is a flyweight battle on the pay-per-view. Oh, wow. This pay-per-view really drops off after the main and co-main event. What the hell is this shit? This is garbage. I don't want to watch this. This is going to suck. Who the fuck are these people? K. Cara France is like one of Team Israel. You know, he's like on his team, so that's why he's fighting, right? He'll probably win.
Yeah,
minus 240. Minus 240 the favorite. Sajara Eubanks, who AJ grappled one time, and he'll always mention that story whenever her name is brought up. So I'll mention it before you do.
Listen, she used to come to Montreal often, and she's super, super nice.
There you go.
I really like
she's an underdog. Nice. Do you think she's going to win? She's facing Ketlin Vieira. Yeah, well,
listen,
I figured.
Vieira was like this hotshot prospect, and look what happened to her last fight. And Eubanks, the thing with her is that, you know, she's hot and cold. You know, she either 2 wins, then 2 losses, 2 wins. And if she's going into this fight, technically, like, you know, if you go with, like, the rhythm of it, she should technically lose, but she's not losing. She's just getting better. And you know what? She's awesome.
I'm going with Ketlin Vieira to win. How about that? Fuck you.
It's not going to happen.
Do I have to care?
No, you don't have to care. Don't even give me a pick because it doesn't matter.
But you're right, man. It's not like other
How
than
about,
those two.
is a terrible, terrible card. Ketlin Vieira, Sajara Eubanks, and then the pay-per-view rounds off with Hakeem Dawodu against Zubaira Tukugov.
Oh, yeah, Zubaira.
Yeah, Zubaira. There
Yeah.
you go. I'll go with
Listen.
Hakeem. Hakeem, the African Dream. Is he African? That was a wrestler back
Prince
in the
Hakeem.
80s.
No, he's
Prince
not, actually.
Hakeem in
I
there.
don't
No,
know if he's
he's,
from Iran or something like that.
Nigeria. Oh, he's Nigerian and Jamaican, so he is kind of African.
Is
But
he?
he's actually Canadian from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
So
Respect.
don't mess with the Canadian.
Go Hakeem.
Listen,
Canadian. I love it. Hakeem,
I
the
love
Canadian
coming to
Dream.
America, Prince Hakeem. So I'm going for.
Yeah, that's not bad. Listen, but Tukahov there, whatever his name is, this guy's been fighting, like I was reading up on him. He's had like 24 pro fights. He's only been knocked out once. I mean, you know what? You can't. These are the type of fights that you just don't know who to pick. It's a pick 'em. And you know what? If you look at overall, if you look at experience, you're gonna go with Tukugov. You know, but I think he comes from Chiamanev's like hometown. So if you're looking at like Northern Russia fighters,
What?
you know, who have been like dominating the scene, you might have to go with him.
Who's
So I'm gonna
Chimanev?
Chimanev,
Who?
the number one fighter right now. That's
Oh,
gonna destroy
Chimaev.
everybody.
Chimaev?
Yes.
That guy. What's his first name?
Yes.
Kamzat.
Kamzat.
Call
Yeah,
him
let's call him Kamzat,
Black
man.
lips.
We're going to talk about Kamzat in a minute because I'm like fully down with Kamzat. Kamzat is the man,
There you
all right?
go.
But okay, here's one fight that I do want to talk about on this card other than the main and co-main event. Diego the motherfucker Sanchez
Sanchez.
against Jake Matthews. Diego Sanchez is still fighting. He put out a 4-fight plan on his Instagram where he sees himself winning his next 3 fights and capping off his career with one final fight against Conor McGregor. You know, Diego Sanchez, I don't think that's going to happen. He's a little, he's a little
I like
out
his
there.
interviews.
But I like him, man. I love Diego Sanchez. The guy is a veteran, a legend of the sport. He's a huge underdog, biggest
Oh
underdog.
my God.
Biggest underdog on this card, plus 525. Jake Matthews, minus 750. I mean,
Wasn't Jake Matthews with Team Australia at one point when they fought
Yeah.
Team Canada?
yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? Like he was like a good prospect to win it all back. How many years back? I think almost
Olivier beat him on the show.
5 years. No, it wasn't. It was.
Olivier
Tell you what, man, I
Diego.
might put $5 on Diego, man, by
Yep.
decision.
Yep.
With those odds,
Go for Diego.
I think
and you know
Diego
what?
could pull it.
Diego doesn't have. Yeah, let's go for Diego. Those odds, man. Fuck it. Diego Sanchez for the win. And he doesn't have that weird guy, the spiritual coach or whatever, in his corner. He's got Stephen Bonner.
That weirdo. Well, that
for real?
makes sense.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good, right?
Okay.
Stephen Bonner, Ultimate
Yeah,
Fighter
yeah.
1, back together again. That makes sense to me. Stephen fucking Bonner. That guy knows
That
what's
makes
up.
sense.
Yeah, man.
So you know what? That might be the fight of the night. That's the long shot that's going to come out.
So to recap, apparently he's got both. He's got the spiritual guru and Stephen Bonner in his corner. I don't know.
You think the
So-
spiritual guru is going to say anything when Bonner's there? Bonner's going to just give him
Yeah,
a
yeah.
drop kick and it's over.
He's got both of them, so that's a good combination. So to recap, for your ticket here, your big parlay on Saturday night, I have Israel Adesanya by decision. AJ has Paulo Costa by submission. Fred has Paulo Costa by knockout. We all are going with Dominic Reyes to win the co-main event. I have him by TKO. What did you guys have?
TKO
Decision.
third round.
TKO. Fred had a decision. And then we don't care about the other fights. We're going to go with Hakeem, the Canadian
no.
Dream.
Eubanks. I said Eubanks. For
Oh,
the
yeah.
win.
AJ's got Eubanks. Fred has no pick, and I've got Ketlin Vieira to fuck with AJ. We're all going with Hakeem, the Canadian Dream, because he's Canadian and he's a favorite. And we're all going with Diego Sanchez to pull off the old man upset, right? That's our parlay for Saturday night. Enjoy that
and
shit.
Diego needs to call out Nick Diaz after that. If Diego manages to win this, he needs to call out Nick Diaz.
That's the
what
fight
he
I
needs
want to
to do.
see. I
Let's
want
make
it.
some money, Nick.
Speaking of making some money, we got to talk about some of our great sponsors here on the show, like Manscaped. Let's talk about Manscaped, guys.
No.
You have hair on your balls? You have ball problems? You need to go to Manscaped. You need to get yourself together. You need to clean up your act. in your balls. Your balls will thank you. The people that see your balls will thank you. Your training partners will thank you. You know, you don't want smelly balls when you're in north-south position, okay? Nobody wants that. So go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20. You get 20% off your order plus free shipping, and you help the Ringside Report Network, which is the most important thing. But really, I think more important than helping us is helping yourself and helping your balls. I mean, you don't want messy balls. You don't want hairy balls. You want the Lawnmower 3.0. You want that little LED light it's got on the end. You want the no-nick technologies. You're not going to get nicked. You're not going to get little cuts, okay? It's very sensitive areas. I know some of you are like, well, I don't want a razor down there. I might get cut. I'm a little bit afraid. Stop being afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of with the Lawnmower 3.0. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20. 20% off your order. Free shipping. And your balls are going to look so good. And they're going to smell so good with the Reviver, the Crop Reviver. They've got ball deodorant. They've got all the products you could ever need. Some that you're like, man, I had no idea they even made this for my balls. But you know what? I think I need this. I want the most pristine, perfect balls in the world. And if you want that, like we all do, we all have very nice balls because of Manscaped. Manscaped.com, promo code Ringside20, 20% off your order, and free shipping. Fred has terrific balls because of Manscaped.
I'm going to need Manscaped soon. I was looking at the chop because I already have 2 kids and I'm old.
What? Don't do it, Freddie. Don't do it, Freddie.
Yeah, man, come on. I want to do it, man. I'm not shooting blanks, man. I'm shooting, and I got a good aim, man. I got 2 kids. I got a very good aim, man. So yeah, I gotta look into that. And I was reading, and you got to manscape before you go there, man. You got to take care of that, man, because if you got hairy balls, they won't chop. They won't.
Fred, you have 3 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, 3. I know. Yeah, but the oldest one is 21, man.
I know.
Count no more.
I know. You're like, I have 2 kids. I'm like, I was doing the math. I was like, he's forgetting one of them.
Freddie, I'm telling you, I'm going to try to convince you not to do that, man.
Fred is prolific.
Don't play with your jewels, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it together, AJ, man.
Ooh.
No.
Let's do it together.
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding? AJ's about to be shooting dust in a couple more years. He doesn't need to do that.
Nah, man, Mick Jagger was like 79 when he got his, like...
Yeah,
well,
that's right,
true.
Freddie.
Mick Jagger, like, yeah.
Them at 78. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Warren Beatty, I think, was 78 when he had his kid.
I'm not doing that. I would never do that.
Him out.
I don't want to do that.
Listen, if we get sponsored by Viagra, it'll even be better.
Yeah, Fred, wait until we get the male enhancement sponsorship before you do a vasectomy, bro. Come on.
Yeah, no, I can still use the male enhancement after. Vasectomy doesn't stop you from, come on, man.
Yeah, but then, aren't you just shooting? What do you? I don't know, man. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, well, there's no more fear, man. You could go machine gun wherever you want, man.
Machine gun?
You just let it all out, man.
Oh, my God. Fred's just spraying everywhere. Like a fire hose or something.
That's why we should be sponsored by some porn site as well. Because, you know what? I think Manscaped, snipping nuts, and talking about all the rest, I think, yeah.
You think, yeah?
Anybody out there?
No. I can't forget the thought of Fred using his dick like a machine gun to shoot. I don't even know what that means, machine gun.
Listen, man. Why don't you get the
machine gun?
Dave, get the pet heaving clip, man.
And
every time we shoot someone with bullets.
Except it's not real bullets. And Ted used to say chocolate bullets, but we say fucking spermy bullets. Shoot you with the jizz bullets. Shoot you with my jizz gun. Pop, pop. Ridiculous.
I think it's an excellent idea. But for the snipping, don't do it, Fred. Don't do that. No.
I think Kamzat should get a vasectomy because we don't need any more of those scary motherfuckers walking around. God damn, he's scary.
What are you talking about, man?
He's a scary guy.
We want more.
Yeah, you're right. You're
That
right.
guy has litters, man.
We need more people like Kamzat. That guy is fantastic,
Like, we
but
need
he is kind of scary.
guys
Like
focused like
we don't
that.
want too many. We don't want too many Kamzats walking around because then us, like, what are we gonna be? You know, Kamzat. We can't have like a world full of Kamzats because then we're the weak ones, and that's no good.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
We'll be the cum shot.
His fight with Maya, is it
That's
also
the
at
problem.
middleweight?
I thought it was
Both.
gonna be a
He
welterweight.
fights both.
Welterweight,
yeah, it's
okay.
But he fights both.
Because if anything, I'm like Kamzat was extremely impressive. Like, you can't say anything bad about his performance. Only thing I'll say is, I'm not sure he has the size for fighting guys like Costa and Adesanya. But hey, he's incredible. That knockout was beautiful last Saturday.
I don't know, man.
An incredible performance.
After seeing what Kamzat's been doing, I'd give him a shot. Like, I was ready to throw Kamzat at Kobe Covington. I was like, let's see what happens there. Like, I'm ready for Kamzat to go. Like, let's not waste time and mess around. I don't really want Kamzat to fight Damian Maia because I don't want Damian Maia to be fed to the wolves because I like Damian Maia. I'm a fan of Damian Maia. He's a guy in his 40s. He's way past his prime, and he's going to be fed to this Kamzat lion and just get knocked out or hurt really badly.
Wolf,
I don't want to see that, man.
Wolf.
Yeah, the wolf, whatever. I don't want to see Damian Maia get eaten up by a young wolf. I want to see Damian Maia, have some fun fights on the way out, do some legendary shit, and then call it a career. I don't want to see him as, one of the last images in the UFC get knocked unconscious by this monster Kamzat. And I honestly think that Kamzat would roll right through Damian Maia at this point. I was a little skeptical a couple weeks ago. We were talking about this guy, but god damn, he touched that guy. I mean, Gerald Mearshart, okay, he's not Israel Adesanya, but Kamzat has that one punch, touch you in the chin, and you go down. And this is at middleweight where he has that power. He could do this at welterweight? Like, god damn, man, this guy is dangerous. This guy is undefeated. Just, you see him move around, 26 years old, you see the look of him, you see what he's capable of. 3-0 in the UFC. He's won 3 fights since July in the UFC, and he's not done, and he's doing it at middleweight. He wants to do it at welterweight. This guy seems real, man. This guy seems like we might have something real.
Look, he's done it in 2 weight classes since July. How many guys can do that kind of stuff? How many guys can get called in 10 days and to fight? Like, 2 different opponents, man. It just doesn't make sense. This guy is something special. And in fact, Dana White today at the fight press conference there, whatever he did, he said that he's already booked a 5-rounder with Kamzat against somebody of name. Who that person of name is, it might be Damian Maia, it might be Kevin Holland, which would be awesome. Either or, man.
Who?
Like, this is how much prospect. Kevin Holland, who's amazing. So that's the name that was coming up. That would be awesome fight. Hey?
Who?
But listen to this. Let's think this.
Who
know who was calling this guy the future?
Kevin Holland?
The future. Yeah,
he was on the card last Saturday. He won the first fight.
Yeah, he was amazing. But listen, that's the names that came up for 5-rounder. But listen to this.
I'd rather see Maya then.
I'm listening. No, man. Come on, guys.
No, Kamzat is a star. I don't want to see him fight jabronis.
That's not a jabroni, man. That's a future prospect there, that Holland. Listen, man, you got old school and new school, man. Either Kamzat's coming in.
He beat a guy called Darren Stewart by split decision. That didn't leave I'm not surprised he didn't leave a lasting memory for me. He won an opening fight by split decision. No wonder I don't remember Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, who's got a 19-5 record, who lost by submission last October to Brendan Allen, whoever the fuck that is.
And he's a nice grappler, but he doesn't have the wrestling or anything to put Kamzat in danger.
Yeah.
Honestly, that fight doesn't appeal to me at all.
That's terrible. I don't want to see that at all.
No, I think that Damian Maia would be something to watch, but as a fan of Damian Maia and whatnot, I don't want to see Damian Maia take a beating. I mean, like, how many more fights does he have? How about letting him get out of the UFC with some dignity and letting him fight maybe some other grappler again and,
How about like Darren Till?
Darren Till was a name that came up, so that's a strong possibility.
Let's do that.
Because it's going to be a 5-round fight. So he's fighting a fight night, or he's obviously the main card coming up sometime in I think October or November.
Yeah, he's supposed to fight Jack Hermanson in December. Darren Till.
Who, Darren Till?
Yeah, so those are two of the top 10 kind of booked up against each other, but there are other guys. Where's Chris Weidman at? Does Chris Weidman want some? Wasn't that fight supposed to happen at one point?
For a 5-rounder? I don't think it's going to happen, dude.
Why not? Chris Weidman's a big name. He just came off a victory. He was talking like he didn't want to fight, legends. He wanted to kind of move up in the division and fight some real guys. Let's see what Khamzat does to Chris Weidman. Let's see what happens there. That's a legit test for Khamzat, former world champion Chris Weidman. Weidman, as far as I know here, I'm looking, doesn't seem to have his next opponent scheduled. He won in August. He beat Omari Akhmedov. Gastelum's out there too. Gastelum's a good name. There are some
nice matchups for him.
Yeah, man. But let's go top 5, top 10, middleweight or welterweight. How about Stephen Thompson? Khamzat called out Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy was trying to fight Leon Edwards, right? And then Khamzat jumped in. He's like, no, fight me instead. I'd be down with that, Khamzat and Stephen Thompson. But Stephen Thompson's ranked 5th right now in the UFC's rankings, and Damian Maia's ranked 6th, though. So I guess the Maia fight does kind of make sense, but I don't know, man. Wonderboy seems like a better fight for him. Somebody at middleweight like Kelvin Gastelum or Uriah Hall or Chris Weidman, Darren Till, Yoel Romero, one of those guys.
I get a feeling guys are going to be ducking him.
Well, yeah, because he's unranked right now.
You're right, Freddie.
But, I mean, he's a star, though. People are going to be watching Khamzat's fights. People want to see Khamzat. I want to see Khamzat. Of the fighters that are in the UFC right now, he's in the top 10 guys you want to see. We should do that, man. Top 10 fighters you want to see in the UFC.
That's a good one.
That actually fight. Who's on the power list?
What he said about him?
Give us 10 guys we actually want to see fight. Not this is a fight and we'll watch it. But 10 guys that you're like, yes. Give me a Nate Diaz fight.
I got to watch his next fight.
Yeah, give me the next Conor. Conor McGregor's should be number 1 on most people's list, right? People want to see Conor. George St. Pierre is.
About, for sure.
Nate Diaz, goddamn. But, active fighters, Khamzat, Israel Adesanya, Zhang Wei Li, I want to see her next fight, see what she does. There are fighters in the UFC right now that aren't legendary, big name, big money fighters that are interesting to watch. Israel Adesanya is one of those guys. Paulo Costa is one of those guys. Francis Ngannou. Colby Covington, Francis Ngannou. There's a lot of guys like that, Colby for sure, man.
Colby, man. But listen,
Kamaru Usman, who broke Kobe's face.
No.
What? You want to talk about
Kobe?
Rematch. You want to talk about Kobe?
Rematch.
No. I was gonna say DC. Did you hear what DC said? DC has so much faith in Khamzat for the future that he says that this guy's gonna be the next double champion in the UFC. He was clear about that. He's going to be the next double champion. He says this guy is the man of the future. You know what? And he's right. Khamzat is going to be a double champion, man. This guy, if he runs through everybody, man, it's going to happen soon. He says that he's going to be the champ.
He looks focused.
In 2021.
He looks focused.
His focus is crazy.
I'm very impressed with
wait till he makes a lot of money.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
I don't know. Those guys, they seem to be pretty, it's not like Conor McGregor. Guys like Khabib. Khabib, the money didn't go to his head, Khabib's from the same place as Khamzat's from. I'm not saying that they all are the same or whatever, but I don't know, man. I think in the culture, it doesn't go to their head as much.
I'm just saying, once he makes money, once he makes money, he won't be fighting every 10 days and things like that. So let's appreciate him right now, and hopefully it keeps on growing.
Yeah, this is when you're going to see him the most active. All right, let's
how
talk.
many fighters have you seen like him? There's
Huh?
not too many fighters that you've seen in the last couple of years that could come out like in short time and actually stand by what they say and have impressive
I mean,
wins. There's not too
Adesanya and
many guys
Costa
that
are
are
two
special
good
like that.
examples.
Yeah.
They are, but like like
Francis
just now, other
Ngannou.
than these two guys, yes, but he went cold at times, So like this guy Kamzat is something special. There's something about him that you look at him, you're like, damn,
Let's put him against a
I'm
real
not
guy
worried
at
about him.
least.
Yeah, let's see
But,
him against somebody
look,
legit. Let's see it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for Kamzat to fight somebody top 5, top 10, either 185 or 170. And I love that both divisions are an option for him. That's what's wild. It's kind of like McGregor, when he was coming up, fighting at 45, but also talking about fighting at 55. But he wasn't actually doing it. Like, he fought at 45, won the title, then move up to 55, and didn't go back down. Kamzat's up and down like it doesn't matter. It's kind of crazy. Colby Covington. He won.
crazy,
He beat
man.
Tyron Woodley like I said he would. Did you guys pick Kobe too? Did we all pick Kobe or?
Of
I
course.
forget.
Of course.
Oh, well,
man.
we didn't do a show
did.
last week. But we put our picks out, right? AJ, you did a graphic, right? You put it out on our Instagram?
Actually, it was so good that like Bet99 took our picks and said that we were awesome. So Bet99.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at our
thumbs up.
picks.
Like, honestly, we
were
were
pretty
good,
much-
man. We called it.
We called pretty much everything. We all had Kobe winning last week. Freddie and I took Cerrone. You took Nico Price, and it was a draw. So the only pick that kind of that we disagreed on for last week's fights went to a draw. We all took Kamzat to win. We all took Johnny Walker to win, and we all took Mackenzie Dern to win, and they all won. So all of our picks won except for the draw, which, I guess a little controversial there, the draw. But, I mean, Nico Price, he, couple infractions there, you lose a point. That's what happens.
Look,
Stop cheating.
it's unfortunate, but
Yeah,
you
stop
know
fouling.
what? Hey, listen, man, shit happens all the time. But you know what? If he didn't lose that point, man, I would have had like a straight win, man.
Yeah.
That would have been my card. I was waiting for that celebration. But either or, we picked, the opposing. You chose Cowboy. I took Nico Price, and the bottom line is that, it came to a draw. So if anybody decided to go on a draw on our pick, man, they made some good money. Hey, listen, man, we beat everybody else. Everybody else predicted, and they didn't come close to what we said. So Ringside Report was on top. Enough for like a gambling site to give us credit.
Sure. And, we're going to be on top again. I mean, even though we disagree. AJ, get
sure.
that graphic ready for this Saturday night, although I don't think we really have picks for all the fights, right? Fred was like, I'm not giving
So
picks for this
we'll
fight.
do it off. We'll do it off site, and then people can come to our Instagram or Twitter feed to see what we go for.
Yeah, well, we'll be live on YouTube on Saturday night, so you could watch us there and see our picks and talk about it and be with us and watch the fights with us. And if you're not ordering the pay-per-view, we'll tell you what's happening as it goes on. So we give you live up-to-the-minute results from UFC 253 coming up Saturday. Last weekend, Colby Covington with a very nice victory over Tyron Woodley. He won by TKO. It was a little bit of a weird finish there. Woodley had a rib injury and had to stop fighting in the 5th round. But Colby was winning that fight. I think he won every single round. He was going to win on decision, whether that fight ended there or not. But I feel like it was the post-fight comments from Colby Covington that got more attention than the actual victory. Colby's still a top-ranked 170-pounder. There are good fights out there for him. I think Jorge Masvidal would be a fun fight there. I know those two don't like each other, former training partners. That would be a fun fight. Colby wanted the rematch right away with Kamaru Usman. I wouldn't be totally opposed to that, but I kind of want to see Colby win another fight. One more fight before getting another title shot. I think maybe, I don't know, you put somebody else in there against Kamaru first. What do you guys think? Well, before we get to what Colby said, do you give Colby the next...
Gilbert.
Yeah. Gilbert. Well, yeah,
Either
Gilbert Burns.
or-
Right, Gilbert Burns is there. Yeah, he's got to get the shot, right? He was going to get the shot, but then he got COVID, and then they gave the shot to Masvidal instead. Like, you got to go back to Gilbert Burns, right? I think they're going to.
No, you don't.
Look,
You don't have to go back. I mean, the bigger fight money-wise for the UFC is definitely the rematch between Kobe and Kamaru Usman. So I would not blame the UFC for going for that fight. But yeah, Gilbert Burns or Covington. Like, to me, Covington. Okay, I'll tell you this: beating Woodley is probably not enough to earn another title shot because
Right.
Woodley right now, he's not the same Woodley. That was an unfair fight almost. Like Covington was clearly the better fighter. Woodley was out of it after the first round. But with that said, Covington, that fight with Usman, he was doing good until the jaw got broken, and that then changed the fight completely. So Usman definitely won that first fight, but I'd be down to see a rematch,
I think Usman
especially with the
definitely.
animosity.
Yeah, I think he definitely won the first fight, but um, I don't want to see him do it again. Like he won.
Who wants it? It's been done.
It's been done, and I'd rather see Gilbert Burns get the shot now because I think Gilbert Burns has earned the title shot. He's strung a bunch of wins together. He's 19-3 now. He's won what, 6 in a row? It was his turn. I think you give it back to Gilbert Burns. I think you throw Gilbert Burns in there against Usman, have Kobe fight Leon Edwards
No, man.
or more
Well, it wouldn't be a
Masvidal,
Masvidal. Now
and then
that's the money fight.
Kobe and Masvidal is a money fight, and then
Right.
if Kobe can get through Masvidal, then you give him Kamaru Usman. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, legitimately, Leon Edwards should get that shot because this guy's been like earning his right to fight. But the truth of the matter is,
What?
the money
Leon
fight,
Edwards
man. You
like
What?
the
gotta get.
last one on that list.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving it to
Yeah, I
Leon
know, but
Edwards.
you know what? But
No,
overall, the money fight is Masvidal. Everybody's going to want to see Kobe fighting Masvidal. There's going to be so much trash talk leading up to that.
Masvidal
You
doesn't
got
want
two
that.
young prospects. Of course, Masvidal doesn't want that, but everybody wants that, and that's the problem. You got to fight who Dana throws at
I'd
you, and I'm
love
telling you, Dana's going to throw those two guys together.
I'd love to see it, but I think it's a bad matchup for Masvidal, and Masvidal right now is so like he just lost one fight, but his value is still very high. I think the UFC is probably going to protect that value. I doubt they throw Masvidal to Covington because
Why,
Masvidal
man?
is their cash cow right now. He's bringing in a lot of money for the UFC. If he loses to Covington, like that's 2 in a row, he's going to lose a lot.
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
man.
But you
I
I don't
think
you
know,
got to
man. The
make sure you
Masvidal
fight
is
UFC,
when they're in their
gets a
prime.
Diaz or something like that.
I don't know, Fred. The UFC is pretty vindictive, and I don't know if you remember, but before Jorge Masvidal slipped in and got that fight to save the card, he was playing hardball with the UFC, and he was having contract negotiations, and it didn't look like he was going to fight at all, and it didn't seem like he was the UFC's favorite fighter. All of a sudden, Gilbert Burns gets COVID. They need a new main event. Jorge Masvidal gets a bucket of money thrown at him, and he takes the fight. I don't think that the
And the
UFC.
UFC sells a boatload of
Yeah,
pay-per-views, don't forget.
but they paid
So that
him.
helps the relationship.
Yeah, but they paid him, and I don't know if they're going to bend over backwards to throw money at a Diaz brother to make Jorge Masvidal happy and make more money for Jorge Masvidal. I would not be surprised if they say, "Look, the Covington fight is the fight, and that's the fight that we're offering you. And if you don't take the fight, well, you can sit." And
Look,
that's what they do to guys,
look,
right?
Dave. But this is the problem, man. You want to see guys fight when they're both in their prime. If you want to see two fighters to say who's the best of the best, they got to fight at their prime. When you look at Kobe fighting Woodley, I mean, these guys go way back, but they didn't fight at their prime. I mean, Kobe did for
Well,
sure, but Woodley
Kobe's in
not.
his prime,
Woodley
yeah.
is like he's like old toast now, and that's exactly what he is. He's toasted. The thing is that you need to have Masvidal fighting, which is his prime now, against Kobe. That's a money fight, and that's what's going to sell, and that sells the credibility as well. So you know what? It could be Kobe against Leon Edwards or Kobe against Masvidal. Either or, these guys are in their prime. These guys are ready to fight. And you know what? Kobe's fight against Tyrone was excellent, man. This guy came out, he proved something, and he won fair and square. Woodley, man, he broke his ribs. And I don't know if you heard, but I was listening to DC talking, and he said that Woodley is in such bad shape. When you have a broken rib, I know what that feeling is. It's horrible, but it must have been so bad that this guy apparently for the next 3 days has to sleep standing up. So that goes to show you that Colby he went in there with no mercy. He didn't care that he busted his ribs or whatnot. But it's an older Woodley,
Okay.
man. He's
Yeah,
breaking
for
his
sure.
ribs.
Yeah,
You know,
he's not in his fighting prime anymore, and I think that was apparent in the Gilbert Burns fight. It seemed like a different Woodley even in the Kamaru Usman fight, but I thought, well, maybe give the credit to Usman. But then the next fight against Gilbert Burns, he was very flat, and then again here against Kobe, he was very flat. I think that, at 38 years old, you can't expect the guy to be as good as he once was. That's what happens. Father Time is undefeated. It happened to Tyron Woodley. It happened to Donald Cerrone. I don't think he looked particularly good in that fight. Dana White said it might be time to have a conversation with Donald about possible retirement. Kobe had a conversation with Donald, not Cerrone, Trump, because the president called him after the fight, which is kind of crazy for the sitting United States president to call a UFC fighter after a main event, after a victory. And I don't hate it. I kind of think, yeah, the president should be calling the UFC fighters after the main event. But it's kind of like, but it's that president, it's that UFC fighter, so it's not as cool,
Yeah, but wait a sec. Look, Trump had his whole
Like if it
his
was
whole
like George
speech.
W. Bush calling Chuck Liddell, like that's a badass moment, But like Trump calling Kobe
Nah.
Covington, not as cool. Obama calling John Jones, cool. Bush
Yeah, but that
calling
didn't
Chuck
happen,
Liddell, cool. Trump calling Kobe
But nobody-
Covington,
No,
it doesn't do it.
No. But Dave, listen, if you look at it, at least it was pretty cool that a president called a guy
Yeah.
during his press conference after the fight. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not looking at Trump. I'm just looking at it as a president calling a sports figure in the UFC. How many people have done that? None.
Yeah, it's cool.
I haven't seen anybody else. Trump's been at ringside. Trump has promoted the UFC in the early days when the UFC had nobody. And that's why there's that strong relationship with Dana White. And in fact, at his convention last week, he brought out Dana White as like the genius of geniuses and that whole crew. So, you had Cejudo there. You even had Aziz, I think, was there. Wasn't he? Or am I mistaken? But
Yeah. Ali
You know what?
Abdelaziz was there.
I'll go-
Henry Cejudo was there, and Kamaru Usman could not be there because he had other obligations. He was in training camp. But of course, Ali Abdelaziz, big Trump supporter, also former informant for the NYPD that then turned on the NYPD, or as Conor McGregor would call him, a terrorist rat. Ali Abdelaziz, big time Trump supporter, as is Kamaru Usman. Like Usman and Kobe.
Masvidal, a lot of
Masvidal
guys.
as well. They stand on the same side there. I mean,
Corey Anderson.
Corey Anderson, a lot of UFC fighters. Kamaru Usman, you might think not, but no, he is a big fan of Donald Trump, and his manager is as well. And they share Kamaru and Kobe share a lot of the same values. I wonder what Kamaru Usman's thoughts are on the Black Lives Matter movement. I know what Kobe Covington's thoughts are, but I wonder what Usman's thoughts are. I'm sure they're a little bit more nuanced and interesting than Kobe Covington's. Maybe he's against it, though. I could see him being against it as a Trump supporter. I don't know. But as a black man, he might have interesting perspective. Kamaru Usman. Kobe Covington, I don't think his perspective is that great. It's kind of goofy. It's kind of, it's pro wrestling. It's a show. I don't take him that seriously. People are quite mad. Let's hear a little bit about what Kobe Covington said. Here is Kobe Covington's post-fight interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, the silent majority is ready to make some noise. If you thought that was a beating, wait till November 3rd when Donald Trump gets his hands on Sleepy Joe. That's going to be a landslide.
Like, that's a gimmick. This is a promo right now, right? Like,
Hey, and Kobe. I want it done. I want to dedicate this fight to all the first responders, all the military out there. This world would not be safe without you guys. You keep us safe. And, not these woke athletes, man. I'm sick of these woke athletes and these spineless cowards like LeBron James. And speaking of spineless cowards, Marty Fake Newsman, Street Judas, we got unfinished business. There's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. I'm coming for you. You're next!
there you go. There's
hell?
talking about
That was great.
Kamaru Usman. Yeah, very good promo, solid stuff. But, of course, he's a heel, and he's getting heat, and that's what I see it as. I see it as pro wrestling. Now, I understand that he is a real person, and this is a real sport. But at the same time, people need to understand that he is playing a role. Am I offended when I hear Kobe Covington say these things? Not at all. Because I hear your everyday American say these things. I hear the president take it even further than Kobe Covington would take it. So I'm not really offended when I hear Kobe Covington say things because he's a UFC fighter, and who gives a shit about what Kobe Covington's political affiliations are? I don't really care. I don't care about Tyron Woodley's. I don't care about Tyron Woodley's political affiliations. I don't care about LeBron James' political affiliations.
What?
I don't care about Kobe Covington's political affiliations. I don't give a fuck.
Man, there's a beef happening, Dave. There's a beef happening right now. It's the UFC versus the NBA, man, and that's pretty clear. And you know what? Like, he's calling them out. Have you ever seen that in any other sport? Have you ever seen in all your years the NHL calling out the MLB? Have you seen, like, the Cricket League calling out, like,
he called out
the ping pong league?
Called out one basketball player, the most famous basketball player on earth.
Listen, all NBA players are coming out now, and like,
yeah.
They're putting in and defending LeBron James.
So was it LeBron?
Reality speaks.
I didn't follow the story, but is it LeBron that said that Kobe doesn't want to be in the ring with him or something like that? I read something about that, and I'm like, man, LeBron, you're crazy if you think you got a chance against Kobe, man.
Well,
you're crazy.
I mean, LeBron's a pretty big guy. He is
No,
much bigger than Kobe.
Kobe is a top 3 welterweight right now in his prime.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah, but are we talking about an MMA fight, or are we talking about just a street fight? I mean, anything can happen.
Either way.
It's the same bullshit.
Come
There's no
on.
tapping out.
Look, I'd put my money
on Kobe would destroy.
I'd put my money on Kobe, but I'm just saying, like, LeBron
He'll destroy him.
How tall is LeBron James?
6'8".
Man, he's
6'8".
But he's never grappled a day in his life. He's scared of fucking up his knees, man. He needs those knees and ankles.
I mean, put him in a couple classes for a couple months. He's a pretty good athlete. I don't know. I think he'd be all right.
He'll tap me. LeBron would tap me within a week. I have no doubt about that. Like, I've rolled with freak athletes. But we're talking about Kobe, who's like a top 3 welterweight right now.
Probably not. Probably Kobe would win that fight, but, like, whatever. It's fantasy. It's not really going to happen. I just think it's very interesting that Kobe is taking the side of, like, I'm with the first responders, I'm with the police, Black Lives Matter. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that it's an interesting
Why is
gimmick.
that being a heel?
Well,
yeah, Dave.
Well, because most people are seeing him as a heel. I guess but see, Fred, you're right. Because I disagree with everything Kobe Covington says. I think, the heel gimmick, I'm not offended. I'm not really entertained. I'm just like, oh, okay, this guy's doing his thing, whatever. But you guys are more in agreement with some of the things that he says. Do you think Kobe has gone too far? Let's hear the Black Lives Matter thing, calling them a terrorist group and criminals and whatever. Hold on, let's hear this first.
Because he's standing up for lifelong.
This is them asking Kobe why he called Tyron Woodley a domestic terrorist.
Because he's standing up for lifelong criminals. The Black Lives Matter is a complete sham. It's a joke. They're taking these people that are complete terrorists. They're taking these people that are criminals. These aren't people that are hardworking Americans, blue collar Americans. These are bad people that are criminals.
These aren't hardworking Americans, blue collar Americans. These are bad people. You know what he's saying there? It's like there's a certain I hear that and I'm like, these aren't hard-working Americans, blue-collar Americans,
no,
white,
they're protesting, so
white
they're not,
Americans.
No, you're using the white. I mean, guys, people that have been protesting for several months now are definitely not hard workers because they're not working. I mean, they're out in the street protesting.
Let's hear the rest of Kobe. Hold on, Fred. Before I'm going to let you go. It's going to be good.
Are hardworking Americans, blue-collar Americans, these are bad people that are criminals, and they shouldn't be attacking police. If you're breaking the law and you're threatening the cops with weapons, you deserve to get what you get. So, that the law enforcement, protects us all. If we don't have law enforcement, it'd be the Wild Wild West. So, people need to go give a pat on the back to law enforcement every single day and thank them for keeping us all safe. Otherwise, all these criminals will be running the streets wild and none of us would be safe.
Wild Wild West. These criminals will be running the streets wild. None of us would be safe.
Have you seen all the protests, man? How violent they are and all, man. Have you followed the news the last couple of months, man? I mean, come on, man.
Yep.
Good job, Kobe.
That's why. Listen, man. At Thanksgiving dinner, you don't talk politics because it ends up in a war. That's what my mom always said. Don't start with politics. You're gonna get a frying pan over the head.
Yeah.
But the truth is, this is the problem. Like now, it's like it's become part of the sports world. All this political bullshit. I always say this, man. You know, you have to support whoever you feel like supporting, but it's important not to forget that you're playing a sport, man. You're an athlete. You're not a political science major in a sense. Maybe they are.
Oh, come on.
So should Kobe
AJ.
Kobe shut up? Should Kobe stop talking all this stuff all the time?
Should have Muhammad Ali shut up? You know, come on, man. They're allowed to talk.
Well, he was like
kind of different. A little different.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not really.
Different.
Kobe's not being drafted to go to war, Fred.
Yeah, so you could have political opinions.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of different. True. Like, they tried to send Muhammad Ali to another country to fight in a war. There was a draft.
And good for him. He stood up for himself.
Kobe's mad that there are protests in places. Like, I get it. You know, he's from Oregon.
He's mad about the violence.
He's from Oregon. I understand. I mean, it's a gimmick. I don't think he's really that mad about the violence. He's a pro MMA fighter. How mad about violence can he really be?
I think you're right, Dave, on one thing. I think what Kobe has done, and like Tyron Woodley said it too, that he's playing some kind of a shtick, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I think he's really like pushing the envelope because it gets his name on TMZ, it gets his name like on CNN, it gets his name on Fox, and in fact, they had all links to those sites on Kobe Covington. Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is it a smart move? Absolutely, you know, But
look, a lot of people are calling on the UFC to tell Kobe to slow down and to not talk all this stuff and to not do all of this stuff. The media is putting pressure on the UFC, and Dana's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to muzzle Kobe. And people are saying, well, Kobe's a racist and Kobe's this and that. And I've heard Kobe say a lot of things, and some of them border on racism. Some of them, may be construed as racist. But I don't really take him seriously, and I don't think you should either. I mean, there are a lot of people like Kobe Covington in this world. He represents a huge part of America right now, and he's trying to get those people on his side. And if you look at the UFC, there's no one guy representing that team as strongly as Kobe Covington is, and it's working for him. He's made more money. He's become more famous. The President of the United States calls him because the President of the United States is a mark who's bought into this gimmick just like the rest of them. So, yeah, good. Well,
I mean, you mentioned all the other presidents. You mentioned all the other presidents earlier. Trump is the only one that ever cared about MMA. I mean, Obama, Clinton, Bush, they would have never called any of these guys. So if anything,
did he?
Yeah, well, GSP maybe, but GSP's different. He's a national treasure.
He didn't.
He never. Okay.
I think he congratulated him on Twitter, though. After George beat Bisping, I think the Prime Minister congratulated him on Twitter. I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Wow, Twitter. Congratulations.
Well, maybe he called him. I don't know, but probably not. He probably doesn't have his number. You think George wants to hear from him?
Kobe is just the most outspoken. Because you mentioned earlier, Kamaru Usman, Jorge Masvidal, Corey Anderson. There's a lot of people that are behind Donald Trump. They're just not as loud as Kobe. And Kobe being white, well, people, they throw intent to him. But his message is not much different than a lot of people. So until I see anything like more substantial, I'm just going to enjoy the Kobe Covington show. I don't agree with everything he says, but he's entertaining, and I love that he's not politically correct, man. There's too much political correctness.
Look, he's backing it up too. Like he went in there and he said, "You're absolutely right, Fred." And there's one thing with this guy is that he came out and he said to Trump, like, this whole thing, I'm gonna go there and like I back up my words, and he did, man. I thought Woodley was going to give him a little bit more of a challenge, but Kobe like stepped up his game, and in the end, man, he physically hurt Woodley. So, I mean, as a fighter goes, this guy is the real deal. The way he talks, I think it's part of that shtick. But like, if it does cross into like racist stuff, I mean, then you're pushing that envelope too. It's
causing,
time will tell, I guess.
Look, it's causing a lot of controversy. It's causing a lot of discussion. I'm seeing Patrick C. Hamilton on the chat talking about it. Woods MMA UK is talking about it. Acme Tunes is talking about it. Acme Tunes is saying that he sees Kobe Covington as saying that all black people are criminals. And a lot of people are reading into that. They're reading into some of the things that he's saying. And, he didn't say that exactly, but he did say that all of Black Lives Matter.
Some black folks have Kobe's back. They congratulated him on That's the thing. You see, the Black Lives Matter is that as soon as you're against it, they deem you racist. So, anyways,
yeah,
I think it's unfair.
I don't.
There's a lot of.
I don't want to be in any group. I don't want to be in any
There's a lot of known
group.
athletes, whether it's Herschel Walker, Marcellus Wiley. There's a lot of known athletes that have black athletes that have publicly said that they're against BLM. So
yes,
it's just more controversial because Kobe is an arrogant.
And there are many white athletes who have said that they are for it, right? So
yeah,
it works.
Exactly.
It works, and I don't know, man. I believe, well, I don't want to say, I was going to say that all lives matter, but if you say that, I think you're racist. I think people say that you're racist if you say that all lives, which is like so crazy. Like, how could you say that, like, I don't understand that. Like, you say certain things and people are like, no, well, that's not the right thing to say. But it's like, well, yes, black lives matter, but like, so do Chinese lives, Chinese lives don't matter.
Italians.
Yeah, Italian lives matter too.
No, but you forget the most important. Freddie lives matter.
Oh, that's a good point there, Fred. Good point.
Yeah.
We need you on the show, buddy, so your life is important, man.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. Acme Tunes is saying if Kobe was saying anti-Semitic stuff, it would be a different conversation. Yeah, but like he's not outright saying he's talking about Black Lives matter as a movement, which I don't see as I guess it is a predominantly black group, but I see a lot of white people in it as well. And
it's a white liberal group.
Oh, all right, Fred, take it easy. But, I don't know. I think he's talking more about the group, like Black Lives Matter. He could be talking about Antifa. He could be talking about whatever. I don't think he's necessarily saying, well, all black people are this. And I haven't heard him say that. I haven't heard him say outright, but there are definitely, he's tiptoeing around it, right? He's definitely tiptoeing around racist thoughts and ideologies, and he's kind of signaling to his other friends that may believe in these things that may not say it in public on camera, but maybe saying it behind closed doors. And I think that's problematic, but I don't think that's Kobe Covington. I think that's a good chunk of America. So to kind of blame it all on Kobe and say, well, that's the bad guy, we have to blame it on Kobe, I think he's just representing a segment of America. I don't think he's smart enough to really understand everything that he's saying. That's why I don't fully believe him or take him that seriously. I just see him as a dumb guy who kind of, reads things on Twitter, goes with that flow, and uses some talking points that he doesn't quite get. Like he said that Tyron Woodley is a Marxist and he's a communist. And he couldn't quite explain why he thought that. Just that, well, because he goes against everything America believes in. He goes against everything American, so he must be a communist. It's like, Kobe, do you know what a communist is? And he's like, no. He doesn't really know. He just kind of says things. Like, he's like Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz says really dumb racist shit all the time, but he's fucking stupid, so I don't listen to Tito Ortiz. He's a dummy, just like Kobe's a dummy. Kind of just like Donald Trump. I kind of treat Donald Trump in the same way. Like, he's a big dumb baby. I don't take him that seriously. Unfortunately, he's the president, so I guess you're supposed to, but I still don't. I still see him as like, that goofy orange dude, but, whatever.
You know what everybody needs? I'll tell you what everybody needs, Dave. Everybody needs a little John Lennon in their lives. A little Imagine, man. And
he'd be a Trump supporter by now.
Think so?
Big time.
Imagine.
Big time. Living in New York, old, rich, white. John Lennon would be big time Trump supporter now. People would be like, man, could you believe what happened to John Lennon? Yeah, fuck. I'm telling you.
Maybe people should start asking what happened to the Democrats. That's why they're losing so many people.
I love it. And they're going to lose again in November, brother, if you listen to Kobe.
This is the problem. Fuck politics. Let's get back
Sleepy
to
Joe.
sports. You know what?
All right. Support our sponsors. Go to Stitcher.com/premium. Stitcher.com/premium. Use that promo code Ringside to get a free month when you sign up. So much great audio, over 100,000 podcasts, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. Stitcher.com/premium. Promo code Ringside for a free month when you sign up. IP Vanish. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net right now. Sign up for IP Vanish. Protect yourself on the internet. Protect yourself at all times with IP Vanish. vpn.ringsidereport.net. And, of course, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off your order plus free shipping. That's manscaped.com. Promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off your order plus free shipping. AJ singing Imagine. I'm partial to Mind Games. You know that one? You know that John Lennon song? Mind Games together. No? That's a good one, brother.
Why don't you end the show with Imagine, man?
You want to sing?
That'd be awesome.
Sing for us, AJ.
No.
Play us out.
Man. I don't know all the words.
Here's something to play us out. AJ. Acme Toon says Fred is making America great again. MAGA Fred. MAGA AJ too. AJ wasn't so much MAGA AJ, but because of the group chat, I think, and Fred's influence, Fred is now pretty MAGA. Yeah, well, not your fault. I'm just saying AJ's easily influenced, and he seems to be more influenced by you than me. So now it's MAGA Fred, MAGA AJ, and our group chat is rough for me, guys. I'm telling you, I'm getting links and look what this guy did. Could you believe Antifa? Oh, look at Joe Biden. I'm guys, I don't like Joe Biden. They're oh, you love Joe Biden. I'm I don't fucking like Joe Biden. You know? And they're nonstop. They're just harassing me. Both of these guys just on me 24/7. Fucking crazy guys. I love them. But see, this is what I love about this show, and this is what I think people don't get, is that we may disagree on politics, but we also don't give a fuck, and we agree about most other things, and, we're best friends. So, we're all super tight. We're like brothers, so who really cares about any of that political bullshit? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect us at all. When's the last time anything political really changed your life at all? Right? Other than it's mostly I cheer for this team, you cheer for that team. Fred cheers for the Houston Astros, and I cheer for the Yankees. You know, I cheer for.
And I like the Boston Red Sox.
I cheer for the left. He cheers for the right. We just we choose our own teams, and that's really what politics is. A bunch of people choosing teams. I don't even want to choose a team. I want to choose I want to go in another league, you know? I don't even play in that league. I play in Canada League.
Well, I'll tell you what. I want to change leagues also, especially in Canada, because, yeah, exactly. Nobody's making Canada great again.
No. Well, the conservative leader's got COVID, so who knows if he'll even last,
George if he comes back.
Do you know if
George comes back, you'll make Canada great.
Two of the... How many national political leaders are there, right, in Canada? There's the Liberals, the Conservatives, the NDP, and the Bloc. I guess the Green Party exists too, so there's 5 parties in Canada. 2 of the 5 have COVID. 2 of the 5 leaders have COVID. You guys know that? The leader of the Bloc and the leader of the Conservatives, they both have COVID. God damn.
And they'll both be okay.
I think they'll both be fine.
In the same bed?
Yes. They probably got a meeting together or something, you know? It just happens. It's just weird, man. It's just weird.
Some strip joint in 20 here.
Oh, can we go? No, I don't think we can.
So,
yeah.
Hear me out on this.
I'm hearing you.
John Lennon versus Donald Trump. Who wins? 3 rounds.
Well, John Lennon's dead, so I go with Trump.
I know, dude, but they would have been around the same age.
Trump's still 6'4" or something. He's a tall guy, man.
Trump's a big dude, but Vince McMahon would lay a smackdown on him. Although he did take Vince out at one point, you know? Yeah. Okay. That's the show. RingsideReport.net is where you need to go. We're going to be back here Saturday night, right? 10 p.m. for the UFC 253 watch-along. We're going to watch the fights here with you. We're going to talk a lot of shit. Fred's going to take a smoke break. I might take a smoke break. I'm going to eat banana bread. I'm going to eat like a ton of weed banana bread here while we watch the fights. So you're going to see me get really high off edibles while we watch UFC. We'll see if I can stay awake and stay sober, stay sane the rest of the night. Fred, what do you have there? What do you have before we go? What do you got, baby?
CBD oil for my knee.
Ooh, nice. I got chocolate fondue. Tasty. AJ, could you turn that off because we're not allowed to have that on the show, you fucking silly bastard.
What are you talking about?
You got music playing.
I'm like bringing peace to the
no,
UFC,
you got to
man.
turn it off
The
because
Ringside
you're gonna get
It's
the
off.
video taken off YouTube. You're fuck. Why do you always fuck things up? God.
It wasn't me,
damn.
man. It must be like something coming out of nowhere. John
God
Lennon, man.
damn.
He's like, where is
I'll
he?
tell you this much. You can say John Lennon, Donald Trump, whatever. James Brown would whoop all their asses, and that is a fact, Jack, because he doesn't know
That's a
karate,
fact,
but
man.
he knows crazy, and that's enough, baby. Hot pants, hit me. Woo. All right.
Woo.
James Brown is the greatest. I love you all. RingsideReport.net. We'll be back Saturday night, 10 p.m. for the UFC 253 watch-along. Hit me!